Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to this Friday, July the 7th episode. I hope all of you have had a great week. It's been a short week, and for those of you who celebrate Independence Day, I hope that all of you had a great time, and we are so happy that you are joining us today. Our show tonight is Let's Get Newsy show. We haven't done it in a few weeks, and we are so excited to talk to you guys about what's going on in this world from our perspective. So let me get on with the show. And first and foremost, I want to open the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Friday, July the 7th, as I said, is my mother's, it would be her 98th birthday. So happy heavenly birthday to you, Mom. I still, at this age, I miss her so much. And I'm just so happy that I get a chance to dedicate this show tonight to her, by the way. So take care of everybody up in heaven, Mom, because I know you are. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for you to dig in your pockets and trust your luck, because the Powerball ticket number, the amount is $590 million, ladies and gentlemen. The Powerball ticket is not $590 million, and the Mega Ball ticket is $450 million. That's over $1 billion if you play and you happen to win both of them. Okay. Now, I think faith is faith and luck is luck. They say it's not there's a chance in hell that any of us will win, but you can't win if you don't play. So go out and get your Powerball and your Mega Ball ticket. And also in the news, as if we needed another app, well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Twitter has threatened legal action against Meta over its new text-based app called Threads, which has drawn tens of millions of users since launching this week as a rival to Elon Musk's social media platform. In a letter Wednesday to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Alex Shapiro, an attorney representing Twitter, accused Meta of unlawfully using Twitter trade secrets and other intellectual property by hiring former Twitter employees to create a copycat app. I'm going to say this. First of all, we're in for a bumpy ride. But for those of you like me who buy stock, did you look at your Meta stock? Come on now. Okay, so Elon and Mark, y'all keep on fighting, okay? And while things are hot in the social media area, and they're feeling the heat, according to meteorologists in the U.S., we are feeling some of the worst heat waves in some time. They are saying the return of the El Nino climate phenomenon later this year will cause global temperatures to rise off of the chart and deliver some unprecedented heat waves that we've never seen before. So stay hydrated and manage how much time you spend in that oppressive heat, because it is not healthy. And in some other areas where things are hot, in some areas things are cooling off for some of our high-profile celebrity marriages. Multi-award winner Billy Porter and his husband Adam Smith of 6 years are ending their marriage, confirmed by a rep for the Pose star. The two have officially separated. And also, singer Ricky Martin and his husband of 6 years, Juan Yosef, have also separated and made a joint announcement on IG on yesterday. And I just want to wish both of these couples well, because breakups are not easy. And, some of us forget that celebrities are real people too, but breakups are just not easy. So I want to wish them well. But ironically, did you all notice both of them were married for 6 years and broke and calling their marriage quits? They didn't even make it to the number 7. Whoa, okay, that's just my observation. I'm going to leave it alone. And last, while I'm talking about relationships, I need to do a viewers poll, ladies and gentlemen. So I need you all to work with me on this. And I need to know if you're feeling or not feeling Darius Jackson's viral comment about Keke Palmer. According to TMZ, Keke Palmer's boyfriend, Darius Jackson, who's also the father of her child, isn't backing down after publicly shaming her wardrobe choice she adorned during Usher's show, and now says her sheer outfit reflects poorly on their family. Darius is now defending his initial comments about Kiki's sexy outfit after catching a ton of heat for his critique. Specifically, he said she shouldn't wear such a revealing outfit because she's a mother. And in doubling down, Darius has said, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others. And now he's getting a lot of flack for saying what he said. But unapologetically, he said, this is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals and what I believe. And he says, I rest my case. So I want to hear from you all in our comment section, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Are you feeling Darius? I mean, was he out of line? Because Essence is saying, that it was toxic masculinity, that he was being controlling, policing motherhood, public shaming, asserting manhood. You all let us know how you feel in the comment section, and we will come back later on with the show. So if you all are ready, we are ready to get on with the show. So let me get my guys in here. Let's go to the chat.
Hello and happy Friday.
Happy Friday, fellas. Happy
Hi,
Friday.
friends. How's everybody?
Good. How you doing? Boddie, that's
well.
a beautiful shirt.
Thank you very much. Little vacation purchase. I got it before, but to wear on vacation. So
Well,
nice.
It's
good to see you guys.
It's good to show up when you're on vacation.
Yes, live from Martha's Vineyard.
Welcome. How you doing, Vash?
I am doing well. It's good to see you all. I feel it.
I don't have my he said mug. I didn't bring it with me. So
all right. Well, hello, Rodney and Blue. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for joining us.
Wait a minute, real quick. Blue said, "Wow, a whole 6 years. Crazy that 6 years is considered a long time."
So and Ronnie said that he thought that those comments were pretty medieval. Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. What I find most interesting is his compulsion to have to make that comment publicly. Right. Like, why wasn't that just a conversation he had with Keke?
Exactly.
And that's the premise for a lot of things that are happening in this celebrity world, where they feel like you don't have to make it public.
Not something between you and your wife.
You want to make it public. Call Beyonce, okay?
Hold on, not his wife.
Right.
That's right. The mother of his child.
He's the mother of his child.
His partner, yeah.
And I think she got all the money. So he needs to act right.
But he cute, though.
Look, they're a dime a dozen. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying. Okay, look, y'all keep on commenting because we want to know how y'all feel. So, whoa, okay.
Yeah, keep commenting. Let us know what you think out there.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. So, all right. Well, so we got a lot of news to talk about.
We do. And one of the things, JJ Tate wants to send special greetings to Alvin. I wanted to note that there.
Hey, JJ.
Thanks for joining us tonight, JJ. So this was the week of the 4th of July, Independence Day. And I was talking to the fellas, the co-hosts, and saying I had some mixed emotions this year. And I think in wake of a lot of what has been going on in terms of some of the recent rulings by the Supreme Court, some of the legislation that's going on across the country, and just continued, microaggressions that people of color continue to experience all the time. One of the things I asked the guys is how they felt about celebrating the 4th of July, Independence Day. How does it feel to exist in a country where there is an expectation of your loyalty, your love of country, all of those things of which I possess, but often feeling sometimes that the country does not love me back as a person of color in the same way that I'm expected to love it.
Yeah. Vash, did you want to go? Go ahead.
Look, there's a quote going around. Was it Frederick Douglass who wrote a thing saying what the 4th of July means to the Negro?
Yes.
And it's like absolutely nothing. All it is a reminder of how hollow that promise is of freedom and justice for all and this and that. It does not pertain to us. It never has been meant to pertain to us. And, that's what it is.
Yeah, it raises the question as to whether or not, if there is something that's to be celebrated, and those things being freedom and liberty and justice and all of those wonderful things that are a part of the American dream and the American promise.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not receiving them in the same way that you should as a citizen of the country,
yeah,
it creates a sense of mixed emotion. And for some, I would go as far to say a level of resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly, because I mean, how long can one be gaslit before they realize it and rebel against that notion in a way that is unpredictable?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, when Bobby first brought this to us, viewers, in our meeting, I really had to sit back and think about it because I'm in a different place than where I was, let's say, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And,
Mm-hmm.
there are parts of me that I feel, well, first of all, I'm an American. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an American. But as far as celebrating the 4th of July, I've decided that I'm not going to do that anymore. That I'm, it's a holiday. I'm gonna take it off. Don't tell me I can't take off because people take off on Juneteenth. But
Mm-hmm.
I I think I'm gonna use it as a moment to reflect on the history that they're trying to erase.
Mm.
I'm gonna use it as a teaching opportunity for hopefully my nieces, my nephews, or anyone who asks me, and I can have that conversation with them about that.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. I see your Ramaj. Okay, Ramaj he's going in on Keke and Darius.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I don't care how attractive someone thinks they are, unless you are in that person's mind or walked in their shoes, you shouldn't have a right to tell a grown woman what should be appropriate for her body.
And can I also interject? Keke Palmer is a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not only is she expected to show out in certain ways,
Mm-hmm.
but when called on stage to be with Usher, she's expected to do certain things to hype the party. So if he is a secure individual, he would not be bothered by that.
See,
Wow.
I hear you. I also looked at it as a way of saying, there are women out there who want men like him to say, I want you to come at me. And Bobby, I'm sorry, I don't mean to take away because we were talking about, how do you
No,
feel to be
no,
American?
no,
And,
go right ahead.
I'm sorry, you guys, and
This is
I
an
just,
organic conversation. It's flowing. So go
I
right
just
ahead.
I just feel like there's also a double standard in there, somewhere. If he was doing it, now he's not a celebrity, but if he decided to go out and shake his tail feather and have his shorts and hug it, all up in some woman's face, then he is he's wrong. He's wrong. And if she says something, believe me, everybody would be on her side. And that's to be true. So, I get his point about him wanting his woman to be respectful, but I also, there's a fine line with telling someone what you should wear because that's a control issue.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's an issue. And for someone who is not a spouse, it could be walking papers.
Yeah. I have sent many home, okay, because you ain't gonna tell me what to wear, but I digress. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and you looking crazy because I'm stepping out the house. I got the assignment. I'm sorry. I understood the assignment. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations like that. So, but I'm proud to be an American. But I'm just not. I just don't feel like I should. I'm not going to celebrate Independence Day like everyone else, like I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Well, someone had said, well, I see them as two different holidays, whether it be Juneteenth and Independence Day and so forth. And I think for me, again, I struggle with Juneteenth. I think it is important to acknowledge that holiday. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate it. My problem that I feel is that when it's celebrated, it is not celebrated fully. It is not given context in the sense of understanding yes, it was the day that enslaved people, because I want to use my words carefully, none of us are born enslaved, there were enslaved people, were freed in Texas. Um, but we don't often acknowledge the fact that it was 2.5 years beyond when they were supposed to be legally held, nor the concept, first and foremost, that people thought that they could own other people. That often gets kind of left out. All we want to do is celebrate the resilience of Black people and celebrate our heritage, our strength, and how far we've come. And even if we are to do that, I think it poses the question then, what is the life and experience of people of color since that day? And is it indeed comparable or equal to that of white citizens? And I think we know the answer to that question. So I struggle with America's inclination to want to celebrate, often not celebrate fully, celebrate without context, and then not ask the important questions. If African Americans were freed on that day, let's look at the experience of white Americans and Black Americans and ask ourselves, if all these hundreds of years later, if they are not comparable, why is that?
Well, we know why that is. We know because there's a lot of non-people of color who are sitting in positions to make laws. They are sitting in position. They've been there for years, and I don't see until that's just one part of it, but it's a significant part of it. Until
Mm-hmm.
we see that change or we see something different in that area,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to continue to have these conversations, which are very important because that's what brings change.
Mm-hmm.
So I applaud you for letting us know how you feel about that.
Yeah, and for
Well,
making us
I
think
just
about
hope that we will think carefully about when we acknowledge these holidays, and particularly, again, you guys know I'm an educator. I don't want generations growing up and not having the context of why these holidays exist, but also asking the questions: how are we actively working to create true equity and comparable experience?
Yeah, because I think that the position is an ideal, right? Liberty and justice for all
Exactly.
is an
Right.
ideal.
Yeah.
But is it just lip service? What are we doing to actually try to achieve that? And when we see certain things going on, we actually see people working actively
To not have
to
equity.
not have it. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Child, I just felt Martin
That's
Luther
right.
King. I just felt Martin Luther King shake my house. Okay.
You all know I share his birthday. I love
Okay,
that.
okay.
Wow, that's amazing.
I just felt that. Well,
I
thank
love
you
that.
again, Bobby. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
All right. Okay.
unfortunately, I have another
Yeah.
very serious topic I wanted to bring up for us.
Uh-oh.
All It's still kind of tied to the 4th of July. What I was not aware of was that the 4th of July, historically, over the last couple of decades, has been the single calendar day for which we can account the most mass shootings
Oh my God.
on the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that it? And the second day, July 5th.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
yeah. And it's
And
been horrible.
it's been horrible. And, for our listening audience, Alvin was saying earlier, the three of us have our production meeting when we kind of discuss our show and so forth. And because I am on vacation, I literally have unplugged. I was not turning on the news. I wasn't reading the paper. I was really trying to separate from it all. So when I did turn on the news to try to get myself prepared for what we'd be talking about, I was amazed. DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, like mass shootings going on all over the place.
It's sad. We're definitely in a violent crisis. It is beyond what I could fathom. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this so bad, where literally everyone wants to resolve their issues with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. And
We need to bring back the dance battle.
Yeah.
not the old dance off. People get those shoes out and be like, let me go get my dancing shoes. You just wait. I'm going to break it down and
Yeah.
And my piece of linoleum. I'm going to
knock-
rock it down.
Knock this off my shoulder, Yeah, I agree. JJ says, you're absolutely right, Bobby. Blue says, sadly, fireworks mask gunfire. And Ramaj says that it's quite alarming how violence seemed to spike on those days. It's
Yes.
absolutely, yeah, it is absolutely
And the
correct.
irony is it's supposed to be a day of celebrating independence, and people go around shooting one another.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really, I don't even have the words to say why.
Well, the
It's
shooting in
because someone has
Philadelphia.
put raisins in the potato salad, and that always
I was not.
sends somebody off the deep end.
Raisins.
You know, it
raisins. You cannot put raisins in the potato salad.
Not in the potato salad. Not even in the green salad, really. You could put cranberries, but no.
You can't do that. Hey, Monica. Monica said, will the mayor walk help?
I guess that I think in DC the Mayor Bowser, I guess, was having some type of walk through some of the cities with police officers and so forth, officials and so forth, to really kind of, I guess, raise awareness. But in terms of Monica's question as to whether or not it's going to help or work, I don't have the answer to that. I believe the situation in Philadelphia was one where, again, the gentleman certainly did demonstrate some characteristics of mental illness and was saying that he was cleansing the streets of some sort in this mass shooting. But again, as I've said before on the show, the United States is not the arbiter and the sole nation of mental illness. Mental illness is across the world. It is the combination of having mental illness and having such easy access to military style weaponry that I think is what separates us. And that person could have been mental ill, and if they didn't have access to firearms, it could be a different situation.
Well, and there's also, we are completely desensitizing ourselves
absolutely
to the notion of gun violence. I mean, it is just reported.
You just pretend that it's not there. Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like hurricanes. Like if it's not a Cat 4, I'm really not even paying attention to it, right? So now with mass shootings, if it's not at least 4 or 5 people, it doesn't even almost make it to the news. Like, so you have people feeling as though
it's just another one.
It's just another one, and they can be a part of it. Like it's they want to be a part of it. It's just sort of crazy. I don't know how, however we combat it, it needs to be a multi-pronged approach that says we're not going to talk about it on the news the way that we used to. It's sort of like what they did with car chases in Los Angeles, because for a while there was just a car chase every single day, and they were just keeping it on the news for hours. And finally someone said you were not allowed to report car chases in that manner anymore, and there was a steep decrease in the number of car chases that happened. So we have to figure out how to deal with this on many levels.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, on a personal tip though, all of it has just created some anxiety in me, because there is no like form, there's no way that there's no one way of how these shootings are occurring. And in DC, I mean, you could be driving down the street and someone just decides to start shooting, and I mean, you know, you could be in your car and all of a sudden you're hit by a bullet. It's that kind of thing. So, you know, it has definitely brought up some anxiety for me with driving. There are certain parts of DC that I don't even want to go in. I'm not even going to go, because I know that it's notorious for those kind of things. On the other hand, it's happening everywhere. And so you just can't, but it is definitely, and I don't know what they can do. I really don't, but I do like what you just said, Vash, and I think they should try that. Stop reporting it for a minute and giving these people, I like that. I like that.
I'm running for president in 2024.
Okay. Well, you go ahead. Vote Vash. Okay.
Wear good shoes when you run.
Exactly.
And carry that flag. Where's that flag?
You know, I'll wave it deep.
Vash is running.
By now, you guys have probably heard that the Supreme Court has ruled that this woman, Lori Smith, a Christian graphic artist, can refuse to make wedding websites for gay couples. Well, what you guys may not know is that the customer named in her lawsuit a man by the name of Stuart, and supposedly his husband to be Mike. Well, the dude says that he never made the website request. And this revelation has raised some serious questions about how this case was even allowed to proceed all the way to the nation's highest court.
Yeah.
So let me give you guys a timeline, right? So back in 2016, a conservative legal group by the name of Alliance Defending Freedom, they always have names like that, right?
Are those names like, you know,
Right. It's always the
freedom and
opposite. It's very
independence and all that,
1984.
yeah.
It's very 1984. Whatever they're saying that they're trying to do, they are doing the opposite.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, the Alliance for Defending Freedom filed a case in Colorado federal court in 2016, and the lawyers for the state said that this case should absolutely be dismissed because Smith had not actually started doing websites because she didn't want to do them until she was certain that she wouldn't get sued. But her lawyer said, oh, it's okay. She should be able to fight a law that she doesn't think is valid, even though she hasn't actually been hit with any possible lawsuit. So miraculously, in February of 2017, they filed a brief saying, oh, look, there was actually a request. Therefore, we can go forward with this case. So the guy, Stewart, said that he found out that his name was attached to the case just recently. And he was like, I should be involved in that. I've been married to a woman for 15 years.
Wow.
So at a time when the
Oh my
Supreme
gosh.
Court is actually taking it upon themselves and going after things to strip away rights and overturn cases that they don't agree with, this particular case shines an amazing light on them for really coming after the LGBTQIA plus community.
Absolutely.
So we're definitely going to watch this and keep you all informed of what's going on. But I have two questions for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a way to tell somebody you don't want to do business with them without coming across as being rude and discriminatory?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do. I do. Because I mean, as a seasoned event planner, I cannot work with everybody, but I'm not going to tell you I have found a way.
You have a way. You're like, well, what dates do you want?
Yeah.
I'm booked.
I'm not giving my secrets away, but I'm just saying to answer your question.
Alma says yes, there is a way to do it. And I do think that there are ways.
So,
I mean, you know, you're a public business, and so you will always encounter people for whom you may see things differently. I do think that you have to draw a line. If I had a bakery, would I bake a cake for the KKK? Probably not. I would not. But that is a hate group versus someone's lifestyle or choice that they want to live. But I do think that when you're a public business, you run the risk of always encountering someone who may see things differently than you.
And one would want.
Go ahead. When will somebody say, you know, I don't want to do it? You know, let's turn the tide. So a straight person comes up, you know, because we do have, as being a Black gay man, we have straight friends. You know what I'm saying? We do, and they like what we like, and they might like a baker that is, a gay-owned and operated business, and they say, I want my cake from there because I've gone, and the baker says, or the cake company says, I don't serve straight people.
Then you deserve to be sued because you're stupid.
Okay,
what you
right.
do is you say, okay, right on. What's the message?
I just gotta get it. Got it.
Right,
okay.
right. That's a stupidity lawsuit.
Exactly.
You should say, okay, fine. All right. What's the message? Great. Okay, cool. And you say, do I need to leave a deposit? No, not yet. Let me just check on some things. Let me put this through, run it through my people. Right. And then you call them the next day. You know what? I looked through everything. We are not available to do your cake for the next 10 years because I have some elective surgery.
10 years.
I am not listening to Vash. I want my any of my potential clients are watching the show tonight. I don't know what he's saying. I'm just saying.
Like, what did he have for lunch today?
I don't know. I didn't say it. He said it. He said it.
But we will. You always encounter people who may see things differently, and I think things
Sure.
who, you know,
Right. Right.
I see people wear outfits that I could look at and go like, I wouldn't wear that. It wouldn't work for me. But I'm not going to say it's wrong or it's bad. I mean that if that's what they want to wear, it's just not my taste. So I think if you run a public business,
right.
unless it's
Okay.
something that totally goes against your moral values, and in term again, like I said, I would not do something for KKK, and I guess their argument is they feel that strongly against people being gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender that they feel that they cannot do it.
But that is an active act of
Discrimination.
That's being cruel, right? That's being cruel,
That's being
and
cruel.
As opposed to just finding a way to say, I'm not able to do it.
I'm not able to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, again, he said that was his. Yeah.
If you're trying to do business with Alvin and I call you,
it's not a good thing because he's really not his booking person.
All right. Well, thank you, Vash, for because you kind of dug deep, and I think that was very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I didn't know that, but keep your eyes open, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right, Vash, you have a second question? You said a second question. You said two.
Well, we don't have to go into it, but I just wanted to point out that it really is privilege to not have to worry about going into a business.
Absolutely.
And be concerned whether or not they're going to reject you based on something that you cannot control.
Based upon who you love. Who you love.
Well, okay, true story. I'm not going to say it because it's going to mess things up. But there is a very, very prominent store here in Washington.
It's going to mess things up.
It's going to mess things up in Washington, D.C. And in 2000, I got treated unfairly because I took some pants back and they treated me unfairly. And 22 years later, I get a Christmas gift every year from this store. Okay. And some of you think that my middle name is the store, but it's not. Okay. Okay. I can afford it, but I'm just saying sometimes when things happen, you have to speak up. And they treated me really bad. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be vague about this because I don't want to mess up what I got going on for 22 years.
Basically.
Okay? Basically. Okay.
Basically.
But see
he
me on
chose himself over the story.
See me on the street and just say you look good. Okay. All right. Speaking of street, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go across the street from where Vash was just talking about the Supreme Court. And I never thought I would say these two words in the same sentence, but cocaine and the White House. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Cocaine was found at the White House on last Sunday, I think it was. And cameras and visitor logs are being searched by the Secret Service. The cocaine was discovered in the White House and was found in a cubby hole in a West Wing entry area where visitors place electronics and other belongings before going on tours.
Wow.
A source familiar with the matter said on Wednesday, the Secret Service is investigating the matter, and the White House said they're checking visitor logs and looking for the cameras. Since I started getting this, working on this piece, the Secret Service is saying that they're going to disband searching by Monday because they don't think that they're going to find anyone. And I got a question. Yeah. Is this a matter that should be a concern for our country at large?
Are you asking the question, should this have been publicized in the way that it was?
I'm asking this matter right now. About cocaine being found in the White House.
I think it's concerning. It's very concerning to me.
I agree. I think it's concerning because if you want to break it down, now you tell me that you don't know what group was in there. I bet you if you knew what group was, if there was a certain group that was in there.
I am not going to mention a person who we all have access to right now who is suggesting that it could have been the first son.
But that's what everyone's going to go to. But he wouldn't go in through that visitor entrance.
He would have gone through that door.
He wouldn't go in there.
Right.
But look, I guess they're suggesting he would have gone through that door because who would suspect him to go through that door?
Well,
Oh, come on now. He would have enough sense to hide it in his sock.
Come on, right. Or at
We
least
know
take it before
we're
he
just
went
joking,
in.
folks. We know it was not
Yeah.
the case.
Right. But I also think that you telling me that you can't pinpoint the group who went through there.
That is what
You
I find to be very lame.
pinpoint.
That you cannot tell me, Alvin. You and I have both had the extraordinary pleasure of attending events at the White House. We all know what you have to go through to get up in there, and how much information you have to give to get onto those grounds. They can find who was there,
If
and
you
there
want to
cameras
find out
everywhere.
If you want to find out who did it, I guarantee you they could. They don't want to spend the money. So that's why I asked, is this...
Plus, by the time you got through to get to the cubbyhole, haven't you gotten through all the other security?
Oh,
you've gotten through the main. Yeah, gotten through the main, but there's still cameras.
Right.
But I'm just saying, why were you going to leave it in the cubby? If you had it to go into the White House, you got to so you could have a little tootski while you was all up in there.
Well, I think about it, it could have fallen out. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm you know, based on what a friend told me, it's in a pack, you know, or something. So it could have fallen out. I'm just saying.
And as an educator, I know cubby holes, and I can tell you, it could have fallen out of a. It could have fallen out of.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But you know, I think it is a matter of concern for me. I think it is, and I think that if they wanted to find who did it, they could, because there's enough cameras up in there. Right. And you know, I think that they definitely can find out. And I tell you, if a certain a group like Black Lives Matter was up in there doing a tour,
they know
this search would still be on. Okay,
and they definitely know. No, it would have been done. They know.
Let's keep it 100 in that area.
Okay. Boddie says he believes that it was intentionally placed, and I am inclined to believe that as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I could go with that, Rodney. Mm-hmm. Yep, I could, but it wasn't Bo. Bo is deceased.
Yes, right? It wasn't Hunter.
So it definitely was not Bo.
It's not Hunter.
Okay, I'm going to move us forward.
Okay, yes.
For the sake of our show.
Get us out of this K-hole.
I'm getting us out of there. Okay, so you guys know a couple of shows in the past, I have spoken about, you know, some of the summer concerts and the record numbers, and everybody's back out on the concert scene. But what I also wanted us to kind of give some credit to is some of the seasoned performers, if you will, who are out here knocking it out the park. I'm seeing social media posts by a lot of my friends, including our own co-host Alvin King, who had the pleasure of seeing Miss Gladys Knight most recently and was singing, giving her great praise about her performance, the quality of her voice, the class of her performance, all of that. But she's not alone. There are some other seasoned performers that folks are out there seeing this summer in particular that are really knocking it out the park. And we've got a couple of images that will give you some insight. There is Uncle Charlie Wilson. Everybody loves Uncle Charlie. First name is Charlie, last name Wilson. Out there knocking it out the park. He is doing it. And the one, the only, Diana Ross, who has been like keeping folks like going this summer. Look at that! Look at that promo shot.
That's a shot right there for us. Is she 70 something now?
She's over 70.
Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
You know, and of course, Babyface Edmonds. So many of my friends who have seen him perform this summer have, first of all, commented on the quality, the length of the show, but also just amazed at how many songs they've been singing by other artists. That Babyface wrote. Yeah. Like, he is an extraordinary both songwriter and performer. And, you know, these are not 20 some odd year old people who are getting on stages and performing night after night for hours. We all took some jabs at Bobby Brown and New Edition when they were going out. But even in taking jabs at him, and he did do some things that were really funny in terms of just saying, I'm not doing all these dance moves, leaving the stage, all that. But in all seriousness, it takes a lot to do this night after night. And, you know, and everybody wants their performance to be just as good. If you hear that the performance in Philly was good, you're going to want the performance in DC to be good. Mm-hmm. And so they can't say, well, I've been doing this for 3 nights, I'm tired. They have to come out and give each audience the same level of performance. And I just want to give them a shout out, because it is not easy to do that night after night and singing and all that. So shout out to the seasoned performers out there this summer. And hopefully we'll all get out to at some point to support their concerts as well.
Right on.
Thank you. I'm right on. I'm glad you said that because you know, the one thing about seasoned performers that a lot of the folks who are younger than we are, who don't know or didn't go to see them while they were in their heyday,
Yeah,
a lot of the people that they are going to see now of the younger generations are singing, you know, or sampling their songs. And
exactly.
so, you know, they're sampling their music. And so, you know, why not go and hear, you know, where it started and hear the original, you know, but
Absolutely.
sometimes, you know, you're not caught up in that. But yeah, and I'm so mad that I just want Madonna
Oh,
to
that's right.
recover because,
Yeah,
you know, she canceled a couple of her tours because
including the one that you were supposed to attend, I'm assuming.
well, no. She hasn't gotten that far yet. I'm
Okay.
not going until September.
Okay.
So let's. But if she
We won't
doesn't,
we won't claim that. We won't put it in the air.
but you know, she did her thing, and so I just want to kind of go and say it. But thank you. That was thank you. I like that. Yep. Support your seasoned musicians.
Absolutely. I
The
mean,
hell?
you
Yeah.
were really impressed with Gladys, and Gladys Knight is one of the most distinctive voices in the music industry. Gladys can sing a commercial, and you know it's her.
Yeah.
Bobby, she didn't drink 1 ounce of water for an hour and 50 minutes. She didn't drink 1 ounce of water or tea or whatever people had. There wasn't even a glass. Her backup singers had glass. She didn't, and she sang and walked off.
And
Wow.
she's not 29.
No.
So
There
go
you go.
Gladys.
There you go. There you go.
Well, standing up for solidarity and all that there is, I just want to let you guys know that the Writers Guild of America,
Mm.
the WGA, the union that represents over 11,000 writers of film, television, and other entertainment forms, they've been on strike. They've been on strike since May. And it's the first writer's strike that's actually happened in over 15 years. Now, at the
Wow.
center of the dispute is the rise in streaming productions and the ripple effects that it's had. Now, the Guild says that even as series are getting more money and their budgets are going up, the writers have not seen a share in that money. The big thing is that streaming services use smaller writing staffs, and in the industry, it's known as mini rooms, and they're using them for shorter seasons. So this has made getting a sustainable income harder for most union workers. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like. So the weekly minimum for a staff writer on a television series on network in 2019 to 2020 was around $4,556 a week. And they would work an average of 29 weeks to do like a 22 episode series. So that's about 131,000 annually.
Yep.
Streaming services, their series weeks are about 20 weeks because they don't do as many episodes. So the writers are like making maybe 90,000 at the base level. I mean, you know, it's still more than most people are making, but that's like a $40,000 difference.
Right.
And
Yep.
writers of comedy and variety shows don't even have those minimum protections at all. So the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents the Hollywood studios and streamers and production companies, said that it tried to offer what they considered to be a generous increase in compensation for the writers, as well as improvements in residuals, but the WGA was asking for too much. So they pulled out and the strike started. So I know it's kind of a drag. The strike means major economic losses for the screenwriters, but they all say it's worth it to fight for the day-to-day dwindling income that they're experiencing. So I just want to tell you guys a bunch of different ways that you can actually help to support the writers. I am going to put in the social media accounts for all of the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, their Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Please go on to their sites, like their posts, share their posts. If you can, urge companies like Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Disney, etc., any streaming service that has shows that you watch, write them and tell them to end the strike by giving writers a fair and equitable deal. If you see a picket line out there, please go and improve upon it for a little bit. If you're a local business and you can, I don't know, give writers a deal, if they can prove that their writers do that. And you can also donate to the Entertainment Community Fund. Do whatever you can, but please help our writers. they really do need our help. And without them, television's going to dwindle down. Movies, you're going to see a ripple where there's not going to be new television for almost a year because it takes that long to write, create, and get it in.
Right.
So do what you can. Social media, contracts, reach out to the companies, help them
Vash,
out.
I actually heard a couple of celebrities, actors, saying that they too were about to join some of the writers on the picket line.
As they should. As they should, because what they can't do their job if they don't have good writers.
Absolutely. And I think that their celebrity also will add a sense of pressure, I think, to those who are in the negotiations.
Well, and the Actors Guild is going to have to do the same thing, right? The writers' contracts are up before the actors' contracts are up. And if we help the writers get their money through the streaming services, it'll be easier for the actors. And I'm not sure if you guys know, I have had a career working in writers' rooms. Mm-hmm. So the whole notion of being I've been a script coordinator, a writer's assistant. So to be in a room of 10 or 15 writers and then think that what they're trying to do now is go down to 5 or 6, you know, and seasons are not all 22 episodes anymore. Bridgerton only had 8 episodes.
Exactly.
So can you imagine being sequestered as a writer for 8 weeks and then not be able to get a gig because that one let out while all the other shows were actually in production? It's like, you know, you gotta compensate people in the right way.
Well, Vash has given you guys some information, so please take heed and, you know, do what you can, because I need my television shows. I don't know about anybody else. I honestly do. I really do. I really do.
Seen the last couple of award shows on most of these stations without writers, and they have been a hot mess.
Yeah, we hit that nail last week, clearly. Okay, if I could rehearse my lines, but ladies and gentlemen, while we're still in the entertainment area of our conversation, I want to talk about the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith right now. We can all agree that every marriage, as we heard earlier, is full of ups and downs. And while celebrities are no exception to that fact, Will and Jada Smith take things to a whole new level. Well, if we're being honest right now, Will seems to be the problem for his family from where I'm reading. That's thanks to the fact that he has been repeatedly said to be involved with other men while married to Jada. And even though Jada has called him out on a couple of these times for his antics, it seems that his own son, Jaden, now has now taken the baton and is hell-bent on outing his father. Not only because not only the news about the Oscar-winning actor is affecting his own life, but according to Jaden, the majority of it is because it's destroying his life with his mom, and he's just pissed off about it. So my question right now is, and it's going to go back to what we said earlier, why should celebrities when should the celebrities draw the line with putting their private lives in the hands and ears of the public?
I don't understand why we are discussing Jaden's relation, why Jaden has felt it to go public around this issue that he has with his father. Like, what? It's not like the public opinion is going to change it. That would be the thing. Like, it'd be one thing if it were an issue where the public could influence it or change. Like, I would think this would only make it worse.
Right.
Well, and in the news also, Jaden is bashing his mom, Jada, for introducing him to hallucinogenics. Hallucinogenics. Wow. When he was a kid. So he's putting that out there, and Jada is going to address that in her new book, her memoirs. She is. So, but I just don't. I don't understand why. You know, we saw what was going on with Kirk Franklin and his son. You know, and this. I just don't understand where they think this is helpful. It's not. It doesn't even feel healthy.
Attention seeking. So
it's attention seeking, and it's also, I think, a little compensation. I think that there might be some money for stories
and marketing.
and for dirt. Well, look, marketing.
Yeah.
See, Rodney, this is why, baby. This is why. There's something going on that is pulling it out. Otherwise, if there was not a market for it, it would not be coming out.
I think it's very sad, though. I mean, whether it's the Smiths, I don't want to make them the exclusive people that we have had these conversations about. I think the same thing about the Kardashians and some of these other families out here. It's like, we don't need to know everything. I understand that social media and public, but to have disagreements with your family members so publicly, if not necessary, is just, and this is not necessary. What does Jaden gain from confirming that his father has had relationships with men? They are known to have an open relationship. We know that. I mean, they denied that forever. They then at least owned that. We certainly saw the whole issue with the entanglement and all of that. I mean, I don't understand it.
It just doesn't. But I do believe that it's leading to, like I said, she has a book coming out. Publicity is publicity, no matter how you get it in this business.
Spell the name correctly.
But I just think that there should be a line drawn about what you talk about. But if you got a publicist or a manager who's saying go here, and they're backing you, that's the nature of the beast of the business. And we all know that to be true. So, but yeah, it just kind of made me sick to hear him talking about that. But look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of our show, and we also wanted to add another piece. Thank you all for indulging me in that. We wanted to add another piece to the show before we left tonight, and we are calling this topical conversation social pragmatic post-COVID. And basically the question is, what are people doing now that they were not doing pre-COVID? Okay. And we had a couple of discussions about it. And I'm just going to kick off my little piece. Before COVID, we were hugging. I come from a hugging place. I see you out in the street. If you're a friend of mine, and if I haven't seen you in a long time, I'm going to hug you. I would hug you. Oh, hey, Vash. Hey, Bobby, where you been? And I would hug you. Now I ain't hugging nobody. I'm not doing it, but it has taken something away. We used to do that so freely, but now we don't do that anymore. And that whole sense of touching is, Rodney said eating all the damn time.
Seriously.
Right.
Yeah. So Rodney, are you saying that you don't like you're still eating as if you were at home? Is that what you're suggesting, Rodney? Let us know.
Okay. Well, because not you, Rodney. It's a delayed reaction on your comment. So we're going to keep moving. So mine is. Oh, he said yes. All right, Rodney got a new computer. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rodney. Go ahead, Rodney. Okay. Yeah. So mine is what I was doing prior to COVID. I was actually I'm sorry. I was hugging people, and now I'm not, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not. No.
Well, it's interesting because social distancing is something that, I've noticed, even things down to like when you're going grocery shopping. You remember the distance that we expected between people? And obviously people aren't doing that anymore. And I must confess, I don't feel quite as comfortable with people all up in my suit. First of all, I'm apologizing to you all. I'm in a room where the natural light is what I'm working with. It's getting dark, so I'll be in the dark before the show is over. But let me see if I can get a little more natural light that way. Okay. But I think that social distancing I still have an appreciation for it. I'm not really thrilled about people being all up in my space unnecessarily.
Well, I agree with you, but people that I know, but then again, there are some people that I know their behavior. They think I don't know their behavior, and I don't want you in my space. Alma said she absolutely loved wearing earrings, and she said that and have about 50 pairs, and she hasn't worn any since COVID because of masks. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Particularly for something that you really enjoy.
So what else? I mean, what is something else that we found have changed?
We were talking about also is just attire, clothing. For years we were work on top, play on bottom. the number of meetings. In fact, there were even a couple of people who got caught standing up at the unexpectedly, forgetting that
Yes.
they didn't have on professional attire, if much of anything,
Mhm.
on the bottom. And what I'm finding is that there has been a dressing down that people seem to really kind of want to hold on to. As an educator, again, we're hiring new teachers and so forth. And we've literally had to say to some of the teachers that, you can't come um, in jeans all the time. You can't, we're not wearing lounge pants. We're not, that there is an expectation. And they, on a very selfish side, when we were having our production meeting, I was saying that I like a nice shined shoe. And Nordstrom's had this shoe shine person that was perfect. Like you could go and drop your shoes off and pick them up later. It was very reasonable. It was like $5 to get your shoes shined at Nordstrom of all places. There's no more a shoe shine person there because people are just not wearing dress shoes anymore.
Wow.
Trifling.
Well, with regards to attire, I change clothes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have clothes that I wear outside,
Mm-hmm.
and when I come inside, I have clothes that I wear inside.
So you don't wear your outside clothes and if you've gone to work and hung out all day, you automatically change when you get home.
If I go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
if I take the trash out, there are
Yeah.
different clothes that I wear outside, and then I change clothes when I come back inside. Because if I want to lay on my bed or be somewhere, I want to know that the clothing that I am wearing is completely safe. And that's
Wow.
a residual from COVID.
Wow.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
impressive.
I like Imelda. I get
Okay.
it.
There's shoes too. I have different
Oh my
shoes that I
God.
wear.
I'm just like thinking, how many sets of outfits
I
does this
change
man have?
I change clothes a lot. I change clothes
You
a lot.
must.
I do. It's I mean, but it's just when I go and do certain things, right? Like, but once I'm inside,
Mhm.
it's set. But if I have to go outside for any reason, I do put on different things.
Wow.
I I also think that what people are doing now that they were not doing pre-COVID, I think they're doing a better job of assessing their true friendships and what's of value to them.
Yeah.
I think people are understanding that having what matters is most important than just having.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so.
And I think that is a very important thing, especially since social media really took over our lives. Uh, what do you call it? Uh, actually, post COVID.
Mhm.
And I think now people are assessing their relationships with people and just making sure that you have that safe space and people around you. So I think
Mm.
that that's something that I would bring up and before we close the show tonight. Yeah.
I
Did you
appreciate
do a
that.
lot of weeding socially during the pandemic? Did you weed out people?
Weed. We said weed.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I did. Yes, I did. I did. And people, yes.
Okay. Vash,
Yep.
you?
There was a moment when I had gotten rid of all of my Facebook friends, but I'm not sure if I did that during COVID or
Mm.
before COVID.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I
but I
feel
had
honored
already
to have
done
still
that.
made the cut for both of you.
Hmm?
Hmm.
I feel honored to have made the cut for both of you.
Oh, please. We can't look as Voss changes his clothes when he goes to the grocery store, put the trash out. I just look at my trash cans all the time. So you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
I think he
See,
just called you trash, and I would
okay.
like to talk to
I didn't say. Look,
Thank
ladies
you,
and
Vash.
gentlemen, we have gotten to the end of our show, and we got to wrap up. Bobby and Vosh, always a pleasure to see you guys. Always. Let me give everybody the words of the week.
Yes.
Walk away from people who put you down. Walk away from fights that will never be resolved. Walk away from trying to please trying to please people who will never see your worth. And the more you walk away from things, the more you walk from things that poison your soul, the healthier you will be. All right, ladies and
Amen.
gentlemen, those are the words of the week. Thank you guys for another Let's Get Newsy. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Good
Bobby.
catching up with you guys.
Yes, good seeing y'all.
Bobby, have another week of fun. We miss you, and we will see you soon.
Thanks,
And
guys. I miss you guys too.
well, we won't see him on the next episode, but Until then, ladies and gentlemen, you all take care, and we'll see you on the new episode of He Said.
He said.
He said.
Thank you
See you
all for
guys in 2
watching.
weeks.
Thank you.